I'm going to start off with my high-end collection because it is my smallest collection. This one is the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie. Their second round 2. This is the Francation palette. I'm definitely keeping that one. This one is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I think I'm going to pass this on to my mom. I'm so over this palette. This one is the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. I love using this, especially during like Valentine's, or I want to do a romantic makeup look. I'll whip this one out. So I'm going to keep this one. Surprisingly, it's because it has cool tones. And it's funny that I'm not keeping the chocolate bar because that one has warm tones. But I just love this palette. This one is from Becca and it is called the Ombre Nudes Eyeshadow Palette. That's what it looks like. I'm going to sanitize this and put it in my makeup vanity store. So if you're interested, I'm going to leave a link down below where I sell my sanitized, gently used makeup, and sometimes they're not even used, and it's US only. This is my Kat Von D Metal Matte Eyeshadow Palette. I'm surprised I've held on to this and surprised I even said yes to this palette because it is cool tones, except for Flash. It's probably like the only warmest tone in the palette. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one because I do reach for this one occasionally. I do love the metal shades in here. They're so pretty. This one is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. This one is so pretty. I'm gonna keep this palette because I just love it. This is another one that I recommend that you have in your collection if you love neutral palettes. This one is the Tarte Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. I'm torn on this one. I love the shades in here. Like I love this row, these two rows, but I'm just not a fan of her more like purpley tones. The highlight is just way too glittery. The blush is way too pink, and this contour. I love Graveyard Girl. I love Bunny, but I don't know. I'm gonna set this aside and think about it while I get through the rest. This one is old. This one's going in the trash. I can't even remember where I got it, but it is the old Kat Von D True Romance eyeshadow palette. It looks like this, and I think these were discontinued because they weren't vegan or something like that. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and trash this. This one is from Dose of Colors, and it's the first eyeshadow palette from the Desi X Katie collection. This is called The Girls, and I'm totally keeping this one because I love Desi and Katie. This one is the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. I love this palette. I love the purples. I love the warm orangey tones from this, so this is definitely a keeper. I've been avoiding this one because, oh my gosh, y'all don't judge me please. I have this weird thing about touching new eyeshadow palettes. This palette is stunning. I hope Shane doesn't watch this video because I have not even touched this palette. I have this thing where I just don't want to touch it. It's just so pretty. I don't want to start using it, but I need to start using it because there's eyeshadows in here that just look absolutely stunning and perfect for holidays right now. Beautiful packaging. I love Kat Von D's packaging, so this one I'm obviously gonna keep. This one is the Too Faced Christmas in New York, the Chocolate Shop palette. I haven't dipped in all of the shades. The shimmer shades are freaking gorgeous, and some of the matte shades I really like. I think I'm gonna be that person and be like, maybe I'll reach for it, so let me just keep it. Don't judge me. This one is like a prized possession that I just won't get rid of, and maybe I'll stick it in a project pan one day. I don't know. This one is the Kat Von D Maybe That Look I Remix palette. Look at it, so pretty. I love it, so I'm keeping it. Back to this one. I gave it a few minutes and I looked at it. Again, I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna keep it. If I don't find that I don't reach for it, then I'm gonna actually put this one in my shop. Of these 14 eyeshadow palettes, they're the ones that I'm getting rid of. I know it was a sad declutter on this part, but to be honest, I've actually been reaching for some of these palettes here on the high end. This 2019 year coming up, I'm gonna do 1 month, 1 palette, so that way I don't feel bad and I can get rotation and full use out of my palettes. My drugstore, more affordable side of my eyeshadow palettes is my biggest. I guess we'll start in this little container right here. This one is from Ulta Beauty and I got it in a gift with purchase. I'm gonna put this in my shop, so if anyone wants it, it'll be listed up there. This one is from Wet n Wild and it is the Rosé in the Air, which is a dupe for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance. I'm gonna keep this one because I've created some looks with it and I like this formula. And these two eyeshadows are also from Wet n Wild, and I haven't even opened this one, but the reason I got it is because I'm totally living for like this navy, it's like this deep teal navy color and this beautiful bronzy shade over here. It's like a really warm bronze shade. And this one is called Hooked on Vinyl, and this one on this side is called Walking on Eggshells. I'm gonna keep both of these here. This one is from Beauty Treats LA. If I do colorful looks, and it works really well together with the Kat Von D, that Mi Vida Loca Remix palette. This one is also from Beauty Treats, and it's just a nice neutral eyeshadow palette. I stared at this one for a few minutes, and I'm just gonna pass this one on to my mom. Okay, this eyeshadow palette is from Milani, and it's the Everyday Eyes, and this one is called 05 Earthy Elements. I'm gonna keep it. This one is a 02 Bare Necessities. The shimmers are so pretty, so I'm definitely gonna keep this one as well. This one is from LA Colors. I got it at the Dollar Tree. This one is called Fling. This shade is just so pretty, but they're not really super pigmented. I'm just gonna get rid of it. This one I got in an Ipsy bag. It is from Pacifica, called Tomboy Vibes. I swatched this and I just was not impressed with the pigmentation. I'm probably gonna put this one in my shop and combine it with other palettes and create a lot and sell it that way. This one is from e.l.f. and is the Need It Nude eyeshadow palette. I haven't reached for it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in my store. This one is from City Color Cosmetics, and it is called the Barely Exposed eyeshadow palette, and this one's supposed to be a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked One palette, with that one being discontinued, and I don't even know if it's available anymore. Some of these shimmers are so pretty. Watch, like this one. Let me just swatch it for you. I don't know what it's called, but look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And then this like bronzy shade right here, so pretty. My gosh. So I'm gonna keep this one. It's from the Fergie collab with Wet n Wild. It's called the Center Stage Collection. Oh, I'm sorry, Desert Festival is the name of this eyeshadow palette. It's barely even touched. I think I bought it new and I just swatched a couple shades, but some of these are not touched. So I think I might sanitize it and just put it in my shop. This one is from Ulta, and I used to buy those really big gift set of eyeshadows, but this one actually came with individual tiny palettes that you can like gift to friends, and it came with lipsticks and stuff like that. But I kept this one because this was my jam back in the day. Obviously you can tell I hit pan on the blush, it broke, and I had to repress this one right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it because it's just really old and nasty. This one is from Wet n Wild. This one is called, I think it's Pedal Pusher. I'm gonna keep this one. This one is the OG Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. Such a beautiful palette, great for beginners. I highly recommend Wet n Wild palettes if you're starting out and on a budget. So I'm keeping this one. I also have the new and improved version of the Comfort Zone. It has additional shades, matte shades that include the transition shades that are on the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna keep it. This one I found from Five Below. It's also from Beauty Treats. I was trying to look for like a pressed glitter eyeshadow palette, and this one go on very sheer and they start like rubbing away. I hope you guys can see that. Like it's just rubbing off. I'm just gonna get rid of this one. I'm gonna trash it. I'm trying not to stare at it too long because I'm a sucker for Pocahontas, and I might keep it just for the packaging. I found this at Walgreens, and look, it is so pretty. I'm just gonna keep this for the packaging because I love Pocahontas. She's one of my favorite Disney princesses. This one is the Take Me to Brazil eyeshadow palette from BH Cosmetics. Another colorful eyeshadow palette. I get sucked in by colorful eyeshadow palettes, obviously, but this one is pretty good and I reach for this one, so I'm going to keep it. Also, this black is really good too. I always dip into that one a lot. This one is the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible collab, and it's the deluxe edition. I haven't dipped in this one as much as I used to, but I actually like pulling this one out during the late spring, early summer. For whatever reason, it just screams summer to me, so I'm totally gonna keep this one. Okay, this one is the ColourPop QAF Yes Please palette. This one is so good. Also another great brand if you're starting out and on a budget, and this palette is really great for the fall, summer, like basically year round. You can get so many looks out of this palette. If you're really familiar with this palette, you might think that it looks a little bit different. The shades will be like reversed on the other side. So if you're wanting to know the name of this eyeshadow, then you turn it around and it's gonna be on this side. What I did, because these palettes are actually magnetic, magnetic. You can carefully pop out the eyeshadows and rearrange them so they actually correlate to the names on the back. So I did that because I was way too confused trying to figure out what eyeshadow I was using and having to turn around and look on the opposite side. And keeper, another one from ColourPop. It's the Dream Street collab with Kathleen Lights. This one is also beautiful as well, so you can get many looks out of it. It's really great. I did have a little bit of trouble with this one. I think it's called Water Bear. I had trouble blending it. It's like one of those that you have to keep packing on. It just tends to blend away. I'm still on the fence about this one, but I love Kathleen Lights. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and this is the Morphe collab. I forget what this eyeshadow palette is called. The shimmers are absolutely beautiful, like this green one. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch for you guys right here. Like, look at that. Can y'all see that? I hope y'all can see that. The thing that holds me back from this eyeshadow palette is some people will tell you it's cruelty free and some people will say it's not. I'm keeping it in hopes that Morphe will finally, you know, release an actual statement and not just like a runaround or ignore people who ask. If you know for a fact and you have a source that does say that they're cruelty free, leave it in the comments. Please let me know. Other than that, I'm gonna keep it for now. This one is from Ulta and it's the Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. As much as I love this one, I think I'm gonna let it go. It really is beautiful. If I feel like I need it back in my life, I can just buy it. I'm gonna put this one in my shop. This one is a new one. I saw a little end cap at Target that had a bunch of Mickey Mouse stuff. If you watch my declutters, you'll see that I had a Mickey Mouse face palette. This is what this looks like. It kind of reminds me of the Urban Decay Heat. They also had another one that looked kind of like the Urban Decay, the Naked One palette. I wanted this one because it had a bunch of warm tones in it. I do want to keep it because it's warm tones and it's just so freaking stunning looking. I'm gonna get this declutter up as soon as I can, and I feel bad for putting these at the very end, but it's because they're glitters, pressed glitters. And right now, Texas House of Glitters is having a 50% off sale on most of their products. I do have a code down below. It's not combinable with the 50% off. So if you try to key in my code with the glitters that you have, like the single glitters, it's gonna remove the 50% off and give you, I think it's 10% off instead. So just make sure if you're gonna shop, it's till December 31st. It's an Etsy store, so I'm gonna link it down below. If you miss the 50% off sale, her glitters are still affordable. I think they're about $4 each. Look at how stunning these glitters are. She named a bunch of her glitters after landmarks, cities in Texas. This one right here is named George, and I think of George Strait, so I'm sure that's where that idea came from. Aren't they so pretty? These are absolutely stunning. I can't remember what it's called. So pretty. It's like a green blue shift. There's so many shifts in this glitter. It's so stunning. The more you work with it and press it in, the more it evens out and flattens out and just lays on your skin so nicely. I do use a glitter glue just in case to keep these on, but I don't think she suggests a glitter glue because of the formula. They're supposed to just stick on your eyelid. Just as a precautionary, I always use a glitter glue. It's gonna turn into a swatch party. I know this one is called Howdy, I think, this brown one. I'm gonna keep those. Of the affordable eyeshadow palettes I have here, there's a total of 28. I'm keeping 19 and I'm decluttering 9. I'm gonna do a 1 month one palette, try to include a palette in a project pan. I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter. If you enjoyed declutter series, I'm gonna leave my playlist link down below. So thank you so much for hanging out. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already. Have a blessed day and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.